So I want to explain you guys the difference between the real estate license and a mortgage license, because a lot of times people get confused and they're not really sure which one would be a better fit for their lifestyle. Again, I've been in this business myself for over 20 years. I had my real estate license, I had a mortgage license, I've been investing for the last 20 years, so I definitely can give you a little bit of feedback and hopefully guide you so you know what the best fit will be for you. And again, no matter which license you choose, in my opinion, both of them are amazing licenses to have. And the reason for that, because you're going to be working for yourself. So that means you're not going to have any boss on top of you. You're not going to be 9 to 5 obligation to come to work, and nobody definitely cannot fire you. And that's the beauty of it, because again, when you're working for yourself, you decide how much you want to work, if you want to put many hours into it or if you want to put just a little bit. So again, it all going to be depends on you. Now, I think the biggest difference between those two licenses would be the actual commission. And that's why you're going to see so many people want to jump into the real estate. Again, when it comes to our classes, I always find that we always have way more real estate agents in the classes. And the reason for that, because they know how much they will make. Because in real estate, think of it this way. Think of it as catching a fish. So if you want to catch a big fish, which is a big sale, big commission, then you're probably going to put a lot of time into this. You're going to put a lot of energy into this, and you're definitely going to put some money into this, and then rewards are going to be nice and big. But when it comes to mortgages, I kind of compare that as catching at the same time as real estate one fish. They're probably going to catch 5 fishes or 10 fishes. And those ones will be a smaller fishes to catch, so it doesn't take that much time and effort to catch them. So at the end of the day, I think it balances out itself. So again, that's something that you have to consider. Now, when it comes to commission itself, now I want you to make sure that you understand that we don't have such a thing as a standard commissions. So what it means, that means nobody can tell you, oh, that's how much you have to charge. You see, we charge whatever we feel like we're worth. So you can charge as much as you want, you can charge as little as you want. So it's all up to you. So again, be careful in our business. So don't ever say, oh, it's just a standard commission rate, because you might get sued for that. So don't ever talk to your clients in that way. So I'll talk about the usual commissions. I'll explain you how it usually works with us, because again, as we have no standards. So usual commission in real estate. So let's say you're working with a buyer, the buyer wants to put an offer, and he puts an offer for $1 million, the offer gets accepted. Now, usually it's the seller who gives the commission, and that commission will be split between the listing agent and between the buyer's agent. And if let's pretend I'm working for that buyer who puts an offer, so the usual commission, so again, no standards, but usual, it will be 3.5 on the first 100,000. So that means I'm going to get 3,500 in the first 100,000 of my offer. And on the balance, they usually charge 1.5 or 1.15, 1.25. It all depends on the listing agent, how much he wants to share that with the buyer's agent. So let's pretend it's 1.5, $1 million listing. So I get 100. On the first 100,000, I get 3.5, so 3,005. And then on the balance, which is 900,000, I'm gonna make, let's say, 1.5. So that takes me to 13,500. So if I combine those two, so I'm making 17,000 on $1 million. Okay? So if the property was 5 million, I make approximately 65,000. So again, you see, it's not bad. So that's why so many people want to get into the real estate, and that's understandable. But for the mortgage, think of it this way. Mortgage is way small, the commission is way smaller. It's going to be only 1%. And when I talk about commissions, by the way, I talk about gross commission. So it's usually 1%. So what it means 1%, so let's say if the mortgage is 800,000, that means they're going to receive 8,000 as a gross commission. So again, what is gross? Gross, that means whatever you receive, that's yours, but then you have to pay your office, and all of you guys will have to share your commission with your office. You'll have to pay taxes and some other expenses. So again, what I refer to commission rates right now, it's the gross commission. Okay, so again, it is a difference. It is a big difference between those two, but just think of the mortgages. It's a bit easier to get those commissions. Why? Because again, you don't have to run as much, and you don't have to put money into the transactions, and you don't have to negotiate, and there's a lot of things that comes with mortgages that I find it's on the easier side than the real estate. On the real estate, you really have to earn it. On the mortgages, you do have to earn it, but again, even though you're going to put some effort, but not as much. So that's the biggest difference, so that commission. Now the second part, and I always tell you guys, please be careful on this. Don't miss out on this part, because that's probably the most important part of the whole profession, It's the lifestyle. Because when it comes to mortgages, you see, people when they do mortgages, they usually work on the same schedule as the banks. So banks are open usually from early morning till usually 5 or 3, and that's exactly how mortgage people work. So they work from usually Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and then they're done. Why? Because on Saturday, Sundays, there's no banks that are open, lawyers don't work on Saturday, Sundays, so for that reason, mortgage people usually have those Saturday, Sundays off. So it's a great lifestyle in that way. But if you're young and if you don't have a family and if you have a lot of time and you don't care, you can spend those Saturday, Sundays outside and you actually want to socialize and meet up with people face to face, then the real estate would be great for you. Because, you know, usually Saturday, Sundays, what do the real estate agents do? They do open houses. They meet up with the clients. They show the clients in the evenings houses and they run around. So again, mortgages, it's more like a 9 to 5 job that you created for yourself, and you can work in your pajamas at home. And when it comes to real estate, oh, you better put that suit on and you better run because you'll have to meet up with the clients. Now, I actually do a lot of interviews with my real estate people and my mortgage people. You should guys follow. We're gonna post them for you. But it's interesting too, and I always ask them, tell me your schedule. Tell me, how do you work on a daily basis? And how do you do your business? So I always ask them those questions. And the last interview I did with my mortgage person, he told me that his business is all virtual now. So what it means, he doesn't even meet up with the clients. He probably never even seen their faces because he does everything over the phone, sometimes over Zoom, Skype, and that's how he does his business. So it's, again, he can be anywhere in the world and does that business, which is nice. He can go back to India, go to Mexico on vacations, and as long as he has his cell phone, as long as he has a laptop, then he can always work and make his money. With real estate, of course, we also have a lot of opportunities like this, but that's when you get to the higher levels. That's when you start building teams, and that's when you can pass along the job to your teammates, and of course they can go away on vacations. But otherwise, a lot of times clients want to see you and they want to make sure that you do business with them. So again, a little bit more time involved, more face-to-face involved when it comes to real estate. Mortgage is a bit more on the distance pajama kind of job, right? That's how I think of it. So again, those two are probably one of the biggest differences between those two professions. Okay, so one more thing to consider for you guys is how you're planning to do your business. Are you gonna do it as a part-time or are you gonna do it as a full-time? Now, you see, if you're planning to do full-time, it doesn't matter which one you can get in. Everybody's gonna take you in, the offices will hire you, that's not a problem. But when it comes to part-time, just know the mortgage industry will not take you in. Why? Because again, they have to train you and they have to explain you things about the mortgages, and I know it as a fact, they do not like part-time mortgage people. But if you're planning to do it part-time, then definitely get into the real estate, because you're still gonna find an office who will train you and who will spend their time on you. Now, I always tell you guys, it's very important for you to find an office that will give you that good training. And that's why a lot of our students, they're always coming back to us and says, give us an advice or give us an opinion which one is the best one to join. And we have the best connections for you. We have all the best offices, we have the best teams, we have top producers that take brand new people for trainings all the time. So we definitely like to connect you, because I find it's that first year that will determine how successful you're going to be in this business. So definitely join the GOBC network community after you pass the exam, and we definitely will help you out.